Good afternoon. Welcome, bienvenue, willkommen. My name is Kelly Lamb. I'm the Vice President of Marketing here at Miele. And we want to welcome you from your home into our home, here at the Miele Experience Center in Toronto, where we're filming today. I want to welcome viewers from across the country. I especially want to also welcome some of the viewers that our customers have invited to join us today. I want to call out some of our retailers who have invited their customers to join us on Miele Live. From the West Coast, in Vancouver, we have our partners at Drum Appliances, Midland Appliances, Trail Appliances. Here in Ontario, we have Appliance Canada, Tasco Appliances, as well as Goman Appliances. And in the East Coast, we have Elmar Appliances in Montreal, as well as Creative Appliances in Ottawa. So again, as many of you continue to remain home with your families, we wanted to be sure that we've been able to answer questions you may have about products that you own in your home or products that you're actually interested in buying. Over the past 8 weeks, we've created this new platform, Miele Live, where we've been able to stream live to you in your home and answer questions you have. About 2 weeks ago, we introduced a new campaign called #MieleDinesLocal. What this initiative is really about is we also realize that many small businesses across the country are facing challenges due to the current situation we're in. And we wanted to be able to utilize this platform of Miele Live to support these businesses. So what have we done? We've actually put a call out to small local restaurateurs and chefs across the country to share with us one of their signature dishes from their restaurant. And we want to actually be able to bring those chefs to you via the platform of Miele Live. And this campaign has been called #MieleDinesLocal. Today, we're very, very excited to have a chef and restaurant from Creemore, and we'll talk about where a little bit that is for those viewers that don't know, to join us here today on Miele Live. Today, we have from Quince Bistro, Chef Otta Zapotocky. Hopefully I got that close.
You
Chef,
did.
We really want to welcome you to Miele Live today.
Well, thank you very much for having me here.
No problem. We're so excited to have you. So maybe let's talk a little bit about the restaurant and where it's located, because we do have viewers from across the country that may not know exactly where Creemore is.
Absolutely. So for some of you, you might know the special beer from Creemore. We're also showcasing down here. It's the Creemore Spring Brewery. Creemore itself, it's located in about 20 minutes south of Blue Mountain and Wasaga Beach, which is about hour and a half from Toronto, straight up north. Mm-hmm. Beautiful small town, rolling hills, like in Tuscany. We have wineries, breweries, farms, and all the happy people, about 1,440 people in the total in population in the town.
So that's where Quince Bistro is. So maybe let's talk a little bit about Quince Bistro. When did it start?
Okay, we opened about, it's going to be a year and a half ago soon. We kind of stopped counting when the closure happened. So it's been since March last year, so year and a half before we came from Toronto. And we've been coming to visit Creemore over the past 9 years. And I always knew that one day I'm going to call that a home. And the universe wanted it, and it happened. And now we have a beautiful 40, 50, 60 seats bistro. Depends on the occupancy, and right downtown or in the main street in Creemore. It's amazing.
And so what's kind of, the food-wise, what's kind of your inspiration for the bistro? What type of foods do you actually, what's on the menu there?
Okay, that's a great question. I mean, it was very important for me to showcase my heritage. That's from Czech Republic. I wouldn't necessarily call it a Czech bistro in any matter, but Czech food I would describe if combination of Hungarian, Austrian, and German We just make those dishes much better though. So we just take the best out of those cuisines and make it a little bit more appealing. Now since people starting to eat a little bit more healthier, not necessarily this dish would be the one for them, but we introduce some nice vegetable slaw to it, and we are trying to cook with lots of local fresh ingredients, seasonal. So in our logo, it's a fresh, local, seasonal. Great in the summer, lots of farms around, some organic farms, local growers, honey, maple syrups, you name it, we have it. It's all grown around. So I said we have wineries and breweries, and
Right.
we are all one big family.
Great produce out there.
Yeah. So and to give you an idea what the dishes might be, in the winter, a little more heartier. So something like a beef goulash and a chicken paprikash. The schnitzel's always there. It's one of our signature dishes. Our guests, they still want to have the deep fried goodness that you cannot necessarily make at home all the time.
Yeah.
So schnitzel, we have some great selection of fish. We have a local fish store in Collingwood called the Ontario Fisheries that deliver amazing product. We try to capture every little part. We do kids menu, but we'll kind of make it a little bit more upscale.
Upscale.
Schnitzel fingers instead of the chicken
Chicken
fingers.
okay. And so, Chef, what's happening up there right now for you? You guys are open for takeout?
We are open for takeout, absolutely. So right now, we have a kind of a shortened menu. Again, obviously schnitzel, our
Your most
fried chicken
popular.
basket. We have some pasta. We also have some dishes that you can pre-order 24 hours ahead that are more of a family-style dishes, like a scalloped potatoes and apple crisp. And then we do specials every week, and which we introduce through our Instagram. And yesterday was our schnitzel night. So that's a big deal for us.
Takeout Wednesday?
The Takeout Wednesday, yes. So we do a schnitzel and fries and slaw and a beer, since we can actually sell beer now. And we capture 10% of our population every week, which is pretty good. And Sunday we have a fried chicken dinner. So it's our epic Sunday dinner. Again, whole fried chicken, all the sides, and you can feed the whole family. So it's definitely focused on families with kids and stuff.
Yeah.
And throughout the rest of the week, we kind of come up with an idea. We'll blast it to the Instagram and Facebook the night before, and people just call in. You can see how the following is going. If somebody calls you in a couple hours and say, "Oh, can I have the special?"
Right.
So you feel really good about yourself that somebody's actually listening what you have to say.
So you do actually, even in this scenario, you guys are actually changing up the menu a little bit with some specials.
We are. So that's why we shrank the menu to just those 3 items that you can just call in and have it ready in 15 minutes.
Right.
Or, something special every week, so you don't have to just.
And it's
eat
different as
specials.
well for.
That's right.
for
So
the
it's just kind of
customers.
what sparks the interest. We had a fresh asparagus I went to collect last week at our friends, and all organic. It's actually a really great experience. Never seen asparagus
Yes,
growing from the ground. Some are about this tall.
Yeah.
Those are not good.
Oh, yeah, okay. Don't eat those. Okay, got it.
And and I also keeping busy, just starting to work a little bit with the Mad River Golf Course, which is a private members club.
Okay.
So keep me busy. It allowed me to bring my staff back as well.
Which is
so,
great.
which is amazing.
Yeah.
They are happy not to be sitting at home.
So right now, what are the hours that you're operating with the restaurant? What's the easiest way for people to find out your latest menu, and how would they order from you right now?
Okay, so the best is to call and leave a message. You can go on our website to see all the updated menus. They will tell you the menu that you can order for takeout, the pre-order menu, and then the specials.
Okay,
obviously.
so everything's on
Everything
the
is on
website,
there.
updated?
I have a great friend who updates that for us, so I'm very lucky that way.
Okay, and hours of operation right now, are you?
Right now we're open from 5 to 8 for pickup,
Okay,
and we are closed Monday, Tuesday.
okay,
When this is all over, we also open for lunch and brunch.
okay,
But the Monday, Tuesday remain closed.
okay.
Should we?
Yeah, I think let's start cooking, and we can continue to chat a little bit. So,
What are we making?
yeah, we've asked you to bring one of your signature dishes to us. So, and there's a story behind this, which we'll chat about once you get cooking. But what are we making today?
Okay, so we're gonna make a schnitzel. Okay, so this is a pork schnitzel. We call it a Jagermeister Schnitzel, and that's the reason is the sauce that comes to accompany the pork schnitzel. So
Okay.
there is no Jagermeister as you,
Yeah,
you were hoping for.
We were joking as a German company. When we were talking behind the scenes here, the team was like, "Oh, Jagermeister," but there is no Jagermeister in this particular case.
There is no Jagermeister in there. There is definitely lots of other alcohol that we use. We can use wine, we can use beer. Just think that the Jagermeister might make it a little bit bitter if we would have used that. But Jagermeister means hunter sauce. So it's a very traditional German sauce. As we talk with Kelly here, they are all over Europe. They are in France. They are in other countries. And what it's basically a sauce that from the fruit of the forest you can find, I guess. So the mushrooms, most likely wild mushrooms in Europe. We will
Right.
be using a selection of our local mushrooms. I have some beautiful organic mini bellas here, and so we're gonna put some few different types in there.
Okay.
But what it is basically a rich mushroom sauce, supported with beer or wine, and some herbs. And the importance, what I want to show here is that I want to bring a dish that you can actually make at home, not just fancy in a restaurant. You can actually do it along with me, or you can just find a way to try it at home, and I'm sure the whole family is gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
And as we go, I will let you know a few variations.
Yep.
For those who like it a little bit healthier, there's always an option as well. So.
And I think the great thing about this dish too is not only I'm sure it'll be delicious, but also right now the ingredients should be relatively easy to find. For
Absolutely,
everybody.
yes. So they're very simple, most peasant ingredients, you would say. Potatoes, cabbage, mushrooms.
Yep.
When I was growing up, we didn't have mushrooms like this actually. They would come in a can most of the times, and they were really good. But when we did have a fresh mushroom or champignon, we would call it, we would be really excited. And I still remember my mom would make me peel all the skin, which I don't do these days anymore. So I think that's the extra flavor there. And we would use lots of forage mushrooms, and we would dry them, we would can them ourselves, and
Right.
that's how we would survive. Even with a lemon, for example, I grew up in a communist country, and we wouldn't have a lemon.
Right.
That's like lemon and orange, and that would be just things we would get around Christmas. So neither would we have tomatoes.
Right.
So we're gonna start with the sauce because that's gonna take the longest time.
Okay.
So we'll put a little deep pan here on. A couple pieces of butter here. I'm not shy with butter. You do need a little bit of oil as well because you don't want to burn the butter. Okay, so that's maybe a half and half. I use canola oil here
Okay.
because it has a little bit of higher burning point. Avocado oil is delicious, which also grapeseed oil would be really good.
And those are all oils with high burning
That's
points.
right. You just can't afford it in a
Yeah,
restaurant.
yeah.
So we're gonna slice the mushrooms here. So little portable mushrooms here, and really, use your discretion how you're gonna slice the mushroom. Go any way you want them. Small, large. You want to have a kind of a textures as you go. So it's really up to you. We're gonna cook it for a while. So we can do a nice large chunks as well. One thing what you want to know about mushrooms is when you have them whole like this, you want to clean them. Okay. Cleaning a mushroom is really important. So there's lots of the organic matter on it when you look at it, meaning dirt and so forth. And so if you get them whole like this, you really want to clean the mushroom with a wet paper towel.
Right. You never want to wash them.
You don't want to wash them. Sometimes they are just really, really dirty.
Right.
So if you do wash them just really briefly, and then you want to dry them, because
Right.
otherwise there is way too much
Water.
in it. And you're going to rather boil them than sear them.
And Chef, for sauteing the mushrooms to start, how high a temperature do you use with mushrooms?
For sauteing mushrooms, you want to have a very high temperature.
Okay.
Because they're going to release the water really quickly, so you want to caramelize them before. For the sauce, I'm not really looking for caramelized mushroom as much,
Okay.
right? It's there are times that you want to put garlic and an onion prior to the cooking, just to sweat it a little bit.
Okay.
But I like to cook that all together, to be honest. We're gonna grab here. I like to use a red onion. Again, very rough.
I'm just gonna make sure that's.
Yeah. Very rough.
You want that on high, right, Chef?
Yeah. No, I just want to turn it down a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit because forgot the onions.
Okay. And so obviously this dish here you serve at the restaurant as well, I would assume.
That's right. So we serve this dish there pretty much. This is the main dish. Like,
Okay.
It's 60-70% of customers will come for this dish here.
Okay.
So we make the sauce in advance, obviously.
Yeah.
So we make it a few times a week, to be honest. And every week when I buy extra case of mushrooms, I would hope that I would have another one. So it's so there's never enough mushrooms. You know, more you have, more you can give to the customer, right?
Yeah.
So again, just a really rough chop on the garlic. You want it to look rustic. I don't want it to be pressed. I want it to have a texture. And same with the onion. There's never enough garlic in a dish, just so you know. So also I want to mention that there is actually not a really a recipe for this dish here. So
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier.
so there is garlic, there's onions, right? And there's mushrooms. And that's how it starts. So what I do is I try to keep the mushroom sauce vegetarian, first of all. Second of all, I try to keep it gluten-free. So you know, try to stay away from any sauces, enhancing sauces, kind of
Okay.
that might have a gluten that you don't even know about, like soy sauce.
Right.
Soy sauce is great for cooking. It, you know, you can hide it. Nobody would ever know that there is a soy sauce. But
Right.
you
It
would want to
does
have the
contain-
gluten-free one,
yes.
the tamari. So, but I try to make it gluten-free. So if somebody comes and say, of course, the schnitzel is not gluten-free,
Right.
but I can make a pan-seared version of that.
Right,
and
without
still
the
use the
coating
sauce.
and the sauce. Okay.
Sometimes what I also do is somebody comes and want to have a vegetarian pasta. Just take the pasta, throw the mushroom
The
sauce
same
into
sauce.
it, little herbs and spices, and you know, everybody is super happy. So I'm gonna let this simmer for a little bit. Gonna cut a little bit, a few more mushrooms here.
So really at the restaurant as well, you are able to accommodate because I think we are seeing more and more people with allergies or aversions. Do you see the same thing in the customers that
Absolutely,
come to
it's
the restaurant?
and I really appreciate when the customer comes up and say, you know, I have a gluten intolerance. Rather, if you're gonna tell me you are celiac, but then you're stealing fries from somebody else's plate. You know, I mean, it's just out of the respect to the chef. You know, tell me what it is. I have no problem with finding something that's gonna suit your
Right.
diet. And you know, you're vegetarian, amazing. Let me know ahead. You know, if you
Right.
come on Sunday at 8 p.m., you know, I might not have as much options for you.
Option, right.
And especially, you know, the beauty of having a smaller restaurant is that by Sunday, I might run out of things.
Right.
And then somebody said, how could you run out? I said, did you see the word fresh on my sign outside?
Right.
That's the reason why we run out. We want to run out of the
Yeah.
things. Because then we are closed for 2 days. What am I going to do with it? I can only eat as many schnitzels as my days off, right? So we like to really kind of rotate the stuff that way and just buy what we need. Okay, so as I said, we don't really need to be browning this.
Right.
So we're gonna add some mushrooms. So what we're gonna do here, I was trying to tell you earlier that it's kind of a 4-step process, right? So we have the sauce that we are working on.
Yep.
We're gonna have the schnitzel itself.
Yep.
Then we have the vegetable slaw, which one of the things that people are really excited and love our restaurant for. It's not my recipe. It's a recipe from my past experiences and past restaurant and friends, chefs from before. There's always a little tweak that I like to add to the recipes just to kind of make it mine.
Okay.
But it's definitely one of those refreshing things that people just love, and it's gonna
But I think
wake
with
up
the
your
schnitz-
palate.
But I think with the schnitzel, that's good because it really balances a bit of
That's
the
right.
heavy aspect.
Yeah, so that's the slaw. And then the last thing, it's you know, we serve our schnitzel with frites. People always ask me, what is frites? I say it's French fries, but it's it's a French fries that receive lots of love. Okay, it takes a long time to make them, and it's labor intensive, but it really pays off on the end. And so this is going here. I think that might be enough mushrooms for us. So we're gonna add some spices here. Sorry, let me just wipe my hand here. So we have rosemary here. I prefer to cook with a fresh rosemary, but we don't always have rosemary at home. When you do have a fresh rosemary, you use one stem. I would put a whole stem in there. I wouldn't take the leaves off. I would put it right in there. You're gonna stir it so many times it's gonna fall off anyway.
Right.
But what you do with the leftover rosemary, you put it in the freezer. It's gonna stay fresh, beautiful, still green. But never mind, there's actually a thyme. But there is a rosemary here. Okay. I like to crush it a little bit in my fingers, and you have to be really careful with the dry spices because
they're much stronger.
Much stronger, especially when they wake up. So when they get heated up. So this is a little bit of thyme. So thyme, rosemary, mushrooms, definitely. It's going to make the dish smell like forest floor.
They're very earthy.
Earthy, and with the mushroom too, right? So very, very earthy thing with that you need to really support it with much more flavors. So this is looking really good here. It's almost looking too good.
It smells fantastic.
Yeah. So we'll leave it there for a second. Few other ingredients that I'm going to use here. I'm going to have some white wine here. We could use a beer, though.
And
different flavor.
And like you were saying, sometimes you'll use wine, you'll use beer.
Totally up to you. I like the wine because of the acidity. The beer you have to support with other ingredients because it's a little bit more bitter.
Okay.
But nice crisp wine. You don't have to be super fancy when you cook with wine at this moment. There are times when you do want to use better wine, but unoaked, nice white. So we're gonna just kind of deglaze the pan here, right? We'll need a little bit of salt and pepper. I like to mix my salt and pepper together, It's if you have two little dishes, one is salt, one is pepper, they're gonna mix together anyway. So
easier.
Might as well to do it. So we're gonna let this cook on its own until it's reducing a little bit. What we're gonna do after, we're gonna put a little bit more of a wine. We're gonna put a little bit of cornstarch in the water.
Okay.
This way we are keeping it gluten-free, right?
Okay.
Just to bring it together because you don't want it to be running all over the place.
Yeah.
You want it to kind of just stay enough so it tops up the schnitzel really nicely.
Okay.
Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is gonna start on the slaw here. Okay. So here's the slaw. Somebody did a very good job of chopping the lettuce for me. Okay, so there is a
red
cabbage. There's a red cabbage, white cabbage, some julienne carrots. Again, I like to put sometimes a cauliflower there. What I also like to do when I finish, I put a handful of arugula when you have that, just to bring the nice colors. I'll finish it with a parsley just to give it a little bit more vibrant color here. But one thing what I want to focus here was not on chopping the cabbage, because everybody knows how to do that. Or you can buy it already chopped if you like. What I want to focus here is making the dressing.
Okay.
And so it's, people are afraid to make their own dressings, I think. It's one of those myths, but it's really simple as long as you follow very simple rules. So the rule actually is you're going to put 1 part vinegar to 3 parts oil. Okay. It sounds like a lot of oil. It's not. Don't worry. So I like to start with red onion. You can have a shallot as well. Shallot's going to be a little bit stronger. But what I like about the red onion here, what I like about it is that eventually it gives the dressing a color. So it's going to have a little pinkish hue.
Okay.
That we're going to end up with, and again, it's going to make the salad more vibrant as well. Okay.
So you were mentioning with the slaw, so even the slaw potentially could change up if you're adding some cauliflower one time.
That's right.
If you're doing arugula.
Yeah, we can. I even did the version that I add some dried fruits.
Okay.
So that's what we do at the golf club right now. I add some dried cranberries. So it doesn't have to be super fine chop. You want to have the feeling of the onion there. Okay.
And Chef, can we, while you're cutting the onion, if I'm going to throw a live question at you
Okay.
from one of our viewers. Liz out there, Liz, welcome to Miele Live. I believe you've been with us before on other sessions, so welcome back. Liz is asking a question, Chef, does it matter what type of mushrooms you use in this sauce?
Absolutely not. It's you know what, the wilder the better, to be honest. And you know, we are fortunate that there's lots of mushroom growers around in Ontario. So all this stuff is local. I'm gonna put a little bit more of a wine here and turn it down because this is looking good. And you know, I like really earthy mushrooms like morels and we've been finding some slipjacks.
Okay.
Those are kind of fun as well. It's anything is good. I think that the forest mushroom will add a really nice surprise to the dish with a deeper flavor. Okay, so we can turn this down for a second and move on to the slaw. So we have the red onion here, okay, or shallot, up to you. Red onion, and so now we have the nice measuring cup here. So this is a vinegar. So I'm using champagne vinegar. Okay, not something that you see everywhere. But what I like about it, it's zingy, but round still. Okay, so it comes from Champagne region. It's from Reims, and you know I like wine a lot. So therefore,
Right, because I think for the viewers out there that don't know, you know, Chef and I were talking earlier, your background actually is, or you have, as a sommelier.
that's
a
right.
trained sommelier.
That's right. So I've been sommelier for maybe 16, 17 years now. So I was not always in the kitchen. I was rather there tasting and chatting about wine and food with the clients in the front of the house. But when I opened Quince Bistro and some restaurants in the past, I realized that, you know, the passion was also in the kitchen, and I wanted to cook my food, and it's very hard to make somebody else to cook your food.
Right.
You know, everybody wants to
Cook their food.
show their own things, right?
Right.
So the only way to do this was for me to actually go and
Cook your food.
cook my own food. So I'm going to turn on the oil here just to bring it to a temperature so we are kind of ready for the schnitzel eventually. Okay, the mushrooms are turned down here. We're going to finish them in a little bit because we're talking a lot instead of cooking here. So we have that 1 cup of the champagne vinegar.
Yep.
We have the I'm going to say a quarter of a large red onion.
Okay.
This point I like to put the salt and pepper there, quite a bit, because it's we are making 1 cup plus 3 cups. We are making 4 cups of dressing here, so we have to realize that it has to be well seasoned.
Okay.
The next thing here, I'm gonna put honey. Okay, so it's important to do it in this process, just so the dressing doesn't split on you. So I'll explain that when I'm gonna add the oil. But this is some local organic honey from our friends up in Creemore, which
A friend of yours? That's
friend of ours, yeah, friend of everyone's. Delicious honey from Starling Farm. And so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna whisk it up. So you want to incorporate the honey into the dressing, right?
Okay, so that's interesting. The honey actually should go in earlier in the process.
Because when you put the oil, it will not have a chance to incorporate because you suddenly have so much liquid, and you're gonna be stuck with clumpy things on the bottom. So the honey now it's also kind of emulsifies it as well. Sometimes you would put a mustard here,
Right.
in other dressings. Other way I was gonna tell you to make the dressing is to take maybe
A
large
jar,
mason jar and start with this too. So you put the honey, put the vinegar and the shallot there. You shake it up,
Okay.
right? Then you can add the oil and really vigorously shake it.
Okay.
So because that's shaking is much stronger than me whisking it around.
So even in a mason jar, you would still do the honey first before the oil
I would,
goes.
yes.
Okay.
I still would. And so now we're gonna put 3 cups of oil. The important thing here is now, I know it looks like lots of oil, but believe me,
But it is a lot of dressing.
it is lots of dressing. That's going to be a dressing for, 20, 30 people probably. So the importance is here to be dripping the oil there very slowly in a steady stream, so that you incorporate it into to there. I make some of my dressings in a food processor. Much easier there. You can just dump it in there. However, here you want to have the chunks of the onions to be intact, and you can see that it's already becoming pink and incorporated. So it's if I would just pour the oil in there, we would have an onion, and then on top of that would be oil. So here, okay, maybe I'll speed up a little bit.
No, it's okay. and I think, Chef, when you have a chance later, we'll need you to hold that up to the
Yes, absolutely.
camera because they can't
We will.
see inside that.
so-
And I know the question will come, what type of oil did you use for the salad? Actually, we do
Okay.
have a question already.
Very good question. Again, in the best world, I would use what I want to use is oil that it's not too heavy. Okay.
Yeah.
And I want to use the oil that's going to be as healthy as it could, and I can actually afford to cook with. So this is a canola oil, so Canadian product. This is the best canola oil I can find.
Okay.
But could you use others? Again, avocado oil would be great.
Right.
Rapeseed oil. If you're doing it for your loved ones at home, use the best ingredients you can.
Okay.
I
so
would
really,
stay away.
there's some options for oil.
There are, yeah. I would definitely stay away from extra virgin olive oil.
Okay.
It's not the oil here. We don't want the bitterness,
Okay.
and we want the lightness of the dressing.
Okay, so that's actually a good tip because I think a lot of people would, by default, go
That's
to
right.
extra virgin olive oil.
So if you want to have olive oil, then use a regular olive oil.
Okay.
Okay, if you are really stuck on olive oils.
Okay.
But the extra virgin would make it too bitter.
Okay.
Okay, so this is done here. So I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah. So we're gonna go to that camera.
Nice and incorporated here. And as you let this sit, it's gonna eventually turn nice and pinkish color here. So let's take a look how this is doing here. You can try your oil by putting a little bit of breadcrumbs in there. So that's looking good. We're gonna turn it down. Okay, just to keep it in the temperature that we want it. And we're gonna dress the slaw here. We're gonna dress the slaw. I don't have a ladle here, but it's okay. We'll improvise.
Yeah.
And so the key is, first of all, you always have to stir the dressing, right? Even if it's sitting in the fridge, it's gonna separate a little bit.
Right.
But more you stir it, more goodness you're gonna get from it. And you might notice I'm making the salad before everything else is ready. I want it to be dressed for as long as it can.
Right.
So it's almost kind of like a pickling. So you want this to break down the cabbage and to become softer.
So would this be, obviously usually with slaws, can this hold overnight? That if I have some leftovers and I just pack it up for lunch?
I like it a lot overnight. Sometimes I purposely dress more than I need for the shift and leave it, and then the next day I mix it with fresh. And
So
so
it's a bit of-
it's almost like an element that you added as a pickled element.
Okay.
So you can add some pickled beets there, whatever it's on hand. Especially in the summer when we go and harvest all the vegetables, we have to work really quick with them. I'm adding some parsley here just for color. Okay, you're gonna see the slaw on
That's
the
beautiful.
plate, but it's already vibrating with colors here. But in the summer when we pick up all the vegetables, at one point we would have 20 pounds of basil. What do you do with 20 pounds of basil? It takes over 3 hours to wash it to start with. So it's a full-time job just to wash it. We had tiny little baby carrots, which are really interesting. Again, you have to wash it one by one. And so we pickle and we make pestos and we freeze and make infused oils and all that kind of stuff
Right.
that we can use for the rest of the year. So this is going to be the slaw. Okay, we'll leave it here for the plating time.
Okay.
Okay. Dressing we don't need. There's lots of dressing.
Okay.
So we're going to move on to the schnitzels now. So I'm going to go wash my hands,
Okay.
and we'll move to the schnitzel and to the fries.
Okay. Chef, so while you're washing your hands, I'll throw you another couple of questions. So Shell Ed, Shell, welcome back to Miele Live. I believe you were with us yesterday. Shell's asking, how much wine did you add to your sauce?
It's a good question. I will add as much wine as necessary. So right now there's no liquid in there. I do want to have a liquid in the mushrooms. So I don't want it to be a sauteed mushrooms the way it's look like right now. I want it to be a sauce rather. So I'm going to add more wine to it, and then you have to also cook it off, right? So when you're going to taste it, you don't want to just taste the wine. So you want to add the wine, going to add a little bit of that cornstarch with the water, and we're going to simmer it, let it come together. But at this point, I added maybe 3 ounces at the most. I'm going to add another 2 ounces and a little bit of the water. But I hope that answers the question. But let's move to the schnitzels here.
Okay.
Okay, so very traditional breading technique. So it's a threefold. So we're going to start with flour. Okay, so you might see some dark spots in the flour. The flour is already seasoned. So what happened is that we use a little bit of thyme, a little paprika, salt and pepper. Back home, my mom wouldn't use anything, maybe a salt. We would season the meat, and all the other ingredients were very plain. But we have a little bit more salt and pepper. Can I grab the salt and pepper for me?
Yeah.
We have a little bit more, thank you. We have a little bit more ingredients around, so we can play with the flavors a little bit deeper. So that's the seasoned flour. This is the seasoned breadcrumbs. So again, the difference is that back at home, we would have old stale bread rolls and breads that we would turn into the breadcrumbs ourselves. Those breadcrumbs would be much finer. And what I'm using here is the Japanese panko breadcrumbs. What it does, they are much thicker, they are toasted, and what it does, it creates the schnitzel to be much lighter and crispier. So I basically start using this instead of the traditional European breadcrumbs. The third thing here is the eggs. Okay, so the important is to whisk the eggs properly, so you can start coating. The first thing is, we got a little.
Oh,
ooh, caught it on the first time. Lucky.
even Chef does that. So that's.
I could have been fishing this here for a few minutes. So they say that if you crack the egg on the
Flat
surface, then you're not gonna get any shells inside there. I don't know. Can't tell you what's true or not. But so we're gonna do the eggs here. So we're just gonna whisk the eggs, right? Try to use a shallow dish just so it's easier to work for you later. It might be not as easy to whisk the eggs, but sometimes I like to add a little bit of milk in here. What it does, it's kind of when you put the schnitzel into flour and then into the egg, it sticks to it a little better. So it's not that I'm cheap with eggs, it's just a little more of a technique, but here we'll just do with the eggs. One thing that I learned from my mom was that you want the schnitzel to be nice and airy and fluffy, then don't press on the breading too hard. So that's one of the things. People feel like, it didn't coat every single corner of that. And it's like, that's okay. It's okay. Let the air to go in there. You don't want to double bread it in any point.
Okay.
So
that's also a good tip.
You might as well just put it between 2 pieces of bread and do that. So I already pounded the schnitzels, so I don't disturb your ears with that. We have a beautiful pork shoulder here. Okay, so pork shoulder, why? Why pork shoulder? Well, just take a look at that. You see all the nice marbling around, all different types of morsels of meat. So it's gonna give you a different textures in that. We've done schnitzels with pork loin in the past. Done the schnitzels with chops, rib chops with bone in. all of those are possibilities. You can make a chicken schnitzel, you can make a veal schnitzel, but the pork shoulder, one of my favorites. So what we're gonna do? So we're gonna season them again. So there's never enough seasoning, okay? So we're gonna season the schnitzels. I also cut them quite small. So if you come to Quince Bistro, you're gonna get probably 2 a piece of 1. But just because our space here, I want to cut it much smaller, and I can fit it actually into the flour. So here the pork shoulder is going into a flour, okay? Now it's gonna go into the egg here. So the key here is you wanna use one hand for a flour and egg, and then the other hand for the breadcrumbs. That way it doesn't become very clumpy on the end here, okay? So what you can do is at this point to flip it here, and it goes into the breadcrumbs. There we go.
And Chef, for those people at home that may want to use a more traditional breadcrumb, does the cooking process change, temperature change?
No, it's same thing.
Okay.
Just have to really, so the key here is you want to watch the cooking process of the schnitzel.
Okay.
So obviously the schnitzel is done when it's golden, but if the meat is way too thick, you might end up with product that's a little bit more rare inside.
Right.
I don't want my schnitzel to be rare, but I do want to see pink for sure.
Sure.
And in this day and age, we can actually eat medium rare pork as long as you know the source.
Right.
These ones were done by my butcher this morning, so just slight pat. You can still see the meat right through. You can see the yellow egg and everything. So just nice and lightly. So this is what's going to end up being really airy and light and crisp schnitzel on the end.
Yeah, because I think you're right. I think a lot of people feel that they want to coat every little bit, make sure it's...
I do that with chicken, with fried chicken.
Yeah.
When you do buttermilk fried chicken with the flour, you really want to press it there.
Right.
Because it stays in the fryer for so much longer, and you want it to stay on.
Right.
And especially when there is a skin on it, it creates this air bubble. So chicken works with schnitzel, doesn't.
Yeah.
So let's make a couple more here. So just that we have there's something for lunch for you guys. All right.
Chef, while you're doing that too, I'm going to give you another question from our viewer, Roz, who's watching us live right now. And her
Hi,
question
Roz.
is back to the vinaigrettes.
Okay.
Are there other vinegars that are suitable for making that dressing?
Absolutely. That's a great question. It's not the easiest to find champagne vinegar, and sometimes when you do, it's very expensive. I was talking about cutting a cost sometimes with the oils, and then suddenly I'm using a fancy vinegar, right? But you can find the champagne vinegar in a bulk, but a great replacement is apple cider for this.
Okay.
It's a very similar. It brings a depth to it. Therefore, sometimes I like to put apples in that in the slaw as well. So why wouldn't it be good to have apple cider with that?
Okay.
And the one thing that I learned working with vinegars is you kind of wanna. It's like working with wine, right? When you're pairing wine, you kind of wanna match the color, the weight of the vinegar or the wine to the dish. So I wouldn't put anything like a red wine vinegar or balsamic, because it's going to change the color. You want to see the beautiful, vibrant colors of the cabbage and of the greens. So definitely a dressing that's the vinegar that has a lighter color.
Okay. But apple cider, that's definitely a good recommendation.
Yeah, we have a producer there just about 10 minutes from us that they make Allen's. So everybody knows Allen's in Stainer. Didn't know it up till I drove by that they are from there. So definitely recommend everybody to come visit, to those who haven't been that far north from Toronto. It's really close by. So skiing in the winter, swimming in the summer, and eating everywhere between. So. Okay, so let's bread a couple more here. I think we have a little bit of room, since we already have them, right? Might as well. I'm going to do a little bit faster.
So the interesting, Chef, the interesting thing about schnitzels too, we were talking a little bit earlier, is Obviously, we're coming from we're a German brand here at,
Yep.
at Miele, so obviously there's a lot of, I guess, history with Germans and schnitzels, but really it actually, various countries through Europe actually have their own versions
That's
of
right.
schnitzel. The Austrians.
And you know, the interesting thing is that on our schnitzel night on Wednesdays, when I give people, our customers, a choice, and so we also do schnitzel parmigiana.
Okay.
It's an option, so
Yeah.
that's more of an Italian version of schnitzel, right? We take the schnitzel, put some of our house-made tomato sauce, and top it with cheese and bake it in the salamander, just so it's nice and melted. So that's one of the options. The other option is that we use what we call our Basque sauce, which is tomatoes, onions, poblano pepper for a heat,
Okay.
and also tomato base. So that sounds like a little
So
other option for it.
so sometimes you offer various sauce options for the schnitzel.
We do, especially on the schnitzel night, and then if you ask throughout the week, we still are able to accommodate it.
Okay.
So the other really good one is miso, soy, and ginger with white wine. It's really good. Lots of butter in there.
Right.
Delicious. But we are good with the schnitzels here.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're gonna do here now, I'm gonna put this aside. I'm gonna take the platter here that we're gonna use to place our schnitzels when they are finished. I'm gonna take those gloves off, and in the next few minutes, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the French fries, and we'll finish the sauce and put it all together. So one thing here, I'm not gonna show you how to make a French fries. I mean, it's it's up to you how thick or skinny you like yours. The importance is to have the good potato. Okay, those are russets, perfect for making French fries because again the starch content's in it. So the few important points here. I like to keep the skin on. It's up to you. You can take it off. It doesn't take away flavor or anything. But when you cut our French fries, they go straight into a cold water. And the reason for it is that you want to remove the unnecessary starch from that. So we put it in a cold water, soak them for 15, 20 minutes, sometimes even overnight. And then we strain them, and they go to the fryer for the first introduction to the oil. So we double fry our fries. Again, very important if you want your fries to be crispy. If you're going to fry them once, they are crispy the moment you take them out.
Right.
But in 2 minutes, they are soggy.
Right.
So this is the old technique. I didn't invent that.
Yeah.
It's a double frying, and what we do, we call it blanching actually. So the first step, 2 ways. If you have a fryer, as we do, you're gonna blanch it in a very low temperature for about 5 to 6 minutes. So
And roughly what temperature would that be?
205, somewhere around
Okay.
there, very low.
Very low. Okay.
And so you don't want any coloring on the fries. At about 6 minutes, I do it on 205, and then we strain them and cool them in the fridge. They have to cool down completely
Okay.
to finish the process.
Okay.
Otherwise, what is the point of blanching? You might as well cook them in the same time if they
Right.
are still warm. So that's number one. If you want to do them in a big pan or a pot at home, if you don't have a fryer, which is completely fine, you're gonna need some kind of spider. We call it a spider. It's a tool to remove the fries from the pot, obviously. And then you want to blanch them a little bit differently. You want to heat it to about 250, 275, and only blanch them for about a minute. Don't ask me why. It's like this is just how I've been taught, and a different vessel cooks and blanches differently. But the one thing I know is that on the second time when you want to finish frying the fries, you want to have the temperature quite high. So look at it, 350, 375 and higher. So which is very different from what I would fry the schnitzel. Okay, I would fry the schnitzel in about 300.
Okay.
If I have the option to see the temperature, I can in my fryer. Here we'll check our thermometer here. Okay.
Yeah, because I would say really with frying, temperature of the oil is very important depending
It
on what
is.
you're doing.
So with the schnitzel, you wanna have it in about 300. For the reason is that you don't want it to burn quickly outside and then end up with that being raw. So there are about 200 here right now. Okay. So we have the slaw. We have the mushrooms
Yep.
just about. We have the schnitzels ready to be fried. They're only going to take about 2 minutes. And now we have the French fries. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the French fries I already blanched and made. Okay. I'm going to put them in the fryer, and then we're going to come and bring all this together.
Okay. So, Chef, while you're doing that, do you have any tips? Because also people love sweet potato fries. But those actually are very, very different to handle.
They
because
are.
the sugar content is
They
so
are.
high. Any tips that you could give to viewers on that?
Okay, well, it's, I like my sweet potato fries just done in the oven.
Okay.
I do cook them in long wedges
Okay.
instead of thin. Again, the only time I had sweet potato fries nice and crispy were when you buy them frozen.
Yeah.
So it's one of those tricks that sometimes it takes long to master, and I didn't have as much experience with sweet potato fries, but I do like eating them though.
Okay. And Chef, while you're doing that, Shell has another question for you.
Okay.
Because you're frying the fries right now. What type of oil actually are you using to do the fries?
Okay, I'm using canola oil again. It's lots of people are used to using peanut oil in the past, but there's so many allergies these days, and I don't even have peanuts in the house. I try to stay away from the allergens as much as I can. The same way as when I was talking about gluten-free. If I can make the dish gluten-free, I will. It's for example, goulash. It's one of those dishes that I could use cornstarch, but it's just not going to make it the same consistency.
Right.
But here I don't have to use a flour. I can use a cornstarch to make it the sauce thicker.
Right.
Because it's you want to have it a little bit more shiny anyway. But so canola oil all the way here. For finishing salads and the dishes, I use extra virgin olive oil though.
Okay.
Just kind of, you want that extra spiciness from the oil.
And Chef, we have a question from Lily J. Lily, you're also a repeat viewer. We want to welcome you back to us at Miele Live and also here at #MieleDinesLocal. How to prevent the dangerous splattering from frying fries after they are soaked in water. So I think one thing is when you said strain, you need to make sure they're
Yes.
really dry.
Yes. So what we do actually, we take the baskets that we are frying it in. So we fill them from the water into the basket and let them drain first.
Okay.
And then we put them in the fryer, step away, obviously, always step away. It's there will be a bubbling. You could hear it when I put the fries there first.
Yeah.
They were not coming out of the water, but now they are nice and calm. When we started, they were bubbling away, right? So if you are gonna fry it in a pot, what do you want to do? Perhaps put them in a towel. I wouldn't use a paper towel because it's kind of can leave pieces on it. Just take a
Right.
kitchen towel, dry them off, and then slowly add them there into your oil. Okay, so our oil is pretty hot here. I think the French fries are going to be done as well.
Okay.
Looking good. All right, so what we can do, we can let's see how. Okay, so it seems quite hot, right?
Yep.
So we want the sizzle, we want that crispiness. And again, so the one thing here, lay it away from yourselves. If it has to splash, it's gonna splash away from you, not on you, okay? So it's really important. I know it's been repeated so many times, but there is a reason for it. So here you go, schnitzels in, okay?
And Chef, I think as businesses are starting to reopen again differently across the country, Ontario, we're a little behind.
A little bit.
What are kind of your visions of Quince Bistro looking ahead? What excites you about welcoming guests to Quince Bistro?
I mean, you just love people. We miss that. We miss those handshakes and the hugs, and that's what the restaurant is all about. Is the hospitality, and one thing is the food and drinks, which is great, but you really want that human contact, and and see their happy faces, and when they are sharing the experience with you, and you know, the customers, they have a choice. You know, they're maybe a little bit less choice where we are, but in the city, it's like, you know, they chose your restaurant for their special meal, and and I want to deliver the best I can. So it's like, it's really really important. I'm gonna grab those fries out. Those are ready. All right, nice and gold. Okay, it's also, I want to let you know that, you know, I do make schnitzels in the fryer as well. It comes up a little bit a different product, becomes a little bit more light. By shallow frying, you're adding a flavor to it. It's you know, it's sitting in the oil a little bit more. So we're gonna put it on top of a paper towel here to get rid of the oil a little bit here.
Okay.
But you know, it's the old way of frying. We never had a fryer at home, and we always had the delicious schnitzels. So
So it works as well for the home cooks at home.
that's right. That's right.
Don't have a fryer.
One thing I really like with my schnitzels is the lemon, right? So just a standard lemon. You do just finish it on your plate with that. You don't want to splash it anywhere around the oil. A few other ideas I picked up as I went, as I learned from my mom. What you can do is you can add some either roasted garlic paste on top of the meat before you bread it, or just completely mashed up raw garlic, and it adds just this wonderful flavor as well. So another alternation to the dish.
Okay, and you would do that before coating or during?
Before coating, absolutely.
Before coating,
so,
okay.
so you want that to stick to the to the meat.
Okay.
The only thing about that is that you wanna eat those schnitzels right after they are done. You don't want them to sit for too long, because it will make the coating a little bit more wet. Right.
Okay.
So therefore, sometimes people use a dried garlic powder.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm gonna return to these guys here. Right. We'll need a little bit of more wine then, I guess. You know what? I have a one open, so I'm gonna use the open one instead of opening a new one.
The schnitzels look great. Smell fantastic.
Yeah, they're looking great. You know, they're not too thin. I really don't like when the schnitzel is too thin and it becomes so dry.
Right.
That's what you usually get with a Wiener Schnitzel. You know, it's a Wiener Schnitzel is made with veal, and which has been pounded quite
Very
a lot.
thin, right.
And, you know, so there's more breading than a meat, and therefore I prefer the pork, especially about the. Especially, it also have a little bit more of the fat content in there that will help crispen up, and just obviously adds the flavor and the juiciness to it. Okay, we set the wine.
Oh, chef's gonna go run get the wine. Chef, for the fries again, when they're coming out of the fridge, because there is obviously a bit of water contents on the fries coming out of the fridge, do you need to pat those dry before they go in, or?
I would, as
Okay.
well. You know, those. It's depends how you keep them. I would keep the fries in the water in the fridge.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I wouldn't remove them from the water and then keep them, because
Okay.
what's gonna happen? They're gonna become
Turn,
brown, right?
Right.
So you want to avoid that. So this is coming very quickly together here. So what we're gonna do here?
Oh, I'll give you space.
I lost my cornstarch here, but it's okay.
Oh, we'll get that back.
It's all right. I will finish it. I'll just reduce this instead. But what I would do right now, I would put a little bit of water with a cornstarch in it to just kind of make it thicker. But it's okay. We have such a high heat here, so that we're gonna make it. We're gonna reduce it a little bit more. A little taste here.
Oh, I think we may have some cornstarch coming back for you,
All right.
chef.
And I also need a little bit of water though in the bowl though.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we need a little bit more seasoning here, salt and pepper. Mushrooms needs lots of seasoning.
Yeah.
I learned over the years. Okay, we are frying those nice and slow now.
And again, I think the great thing about making this dish at home, we were talking earlier, is really there is no specific recipe in the sense of, you know, if
Perfect.
that's right. All right. For the sauce itself, you know, whether you use wine or beer, or you can do what you'd like there.
So It's true. So it's really up to you, up to your, I like to cooking without recipes. I know it's sometimes hard to when you create something that's really awesome to recreate it again. But that's the beauty of cooking, I think. So start with a little bit of the cornstarch first. You don't want it to be too clunky, and you will not know how thick it's gonna be up till up till it's actually fully boils. So there's the schnitzel here. Wonderful. Okay, so we can put a little bit more wine here. So I say you don't want it to be too thick.
Too thick.
Either. So. All right, so we're gonna move on to the plating here. So we have the mushrooms ready.
Yeah, it's come together very quickly at the end. So I'm going to give you your plating space, Chef.
Yes, thank you. I'm gonna go grab those fries here. All right, perfect. Okay, here we are. So, salt and pepper. Look at those fries. Beautiful golden shoestrings, right? Don't be afraid. You need the salt and pepper here. Yeah, a little bit of herbs. Why not? Sometimes I put Parmesan cheese. Sometimes we put a little bit of truffle oil in there. We call it the frites royale. Just to fancy it up a little bit. Okay. All right, so there we go. We're gonna plate.
So, Chef, as your background as a sommelier,
Yes.
what's would you recommend to drink with this?
Well,
Beer is one thing.
that's right. So the best wine would be beer. However, I like to cook and eat with ingredients that are local.
Okay.
Right? So if you can find something from your local producer, we have Creamore Hills Winery, amazing wine, just about 5 minutes away from us. They do a great product. But what I would really want for the deep fried food is something that's really crisp, hopefully unoaked, because it's going to be much lighter, more refreshing, zesty, zingy. You want to cut through the fattiness of the oil, and you want to match the acidity that's in the salad. So that's what I would recommend. And if I want to be specific, dry German Riesling, Grüner Veltliner from the Austria. So again, the wine that comes from the areas that this dish was actually developed originally. Okay. All right. I'm gonna put the slaw in here.
Everything's smelling fantastic. Looks great.
It's the beauty. If it looks good and smells good, it must taste good. There's no option. Sometimes I say Sometimes I don't have to taste the food, because if all the ingredients that we put in there went there and they taste amazing on its own, there's no option for it not to taste good. So here, we're gonna put those frites in here. Keep it safe with the tongs. The other options I said I'm gonna let you know some options for those who don't necessarily want to have frites, And I like to do a roasted potato salad, which is delicious. Little mustard and mustard cream and dressing. We also can do mashed potatoes. We like in Czech Republic, it's our favorite thing. What we do is we're gonna put potato puree, we call it. So it's a really finely pureed mashed potatoes that we like to have. Lots of milk and lots of butter, salt, pepper. All right. It's okay.
That's okay.
Let's not go crazy here.
That's an extremely large portion, Chef.
And I lost my knife.
Oh, well,
thank you.
we will grab you a knife to finish off the dish.
And we're gonna use a little spoon here to thank you.
I hope at the restaurant it's a smaller portion than that because
Not
it's,
necessarily, to be honest.
really.
It is quite. Maybe there's the slaw and the fries. It's a little bit extra here.
Okay.
But the schnitzel part, it's equivalent or a little bit bigger even, to be
Okay,
honest.
and your knife is right here, chef.
Thank
if
you. Oh, we're gonna put the
would like.
lemon there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So just nice wedge of lemon here. Okay, just for the color and for the flavor as well, of course.
Wow,
Okay, this is it.
it's amazing.
The Jagermeister Schnitzel from Quince Bistro.
Cooked live here with us, which we really appreciate. Everything was done.
And make it much prettier here. Okay, and there's the one without the sauce, which is also an option.
2 versions.
There you go.
Fantastic.
Enjoy.
Chef Otta, amazing.
Thank you very
First
much.
of all, I think our guests were really engaged during this whole session. We want to thank you. So once again, Quince Bistro, Creemore. You guys are open Wednesday
Wednesday to
through
Sunday, yep.
5 to 8.
So 5 to 8 right now for pickup, but call us anytime. Leave a message, and we will get back to you.
Okay.
So sometimes I live on top of the restaurant too, so I take my phone with me. So you're surprised when I pick up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
No, you want to encourage them to call you?
No, I
That's,
don't. That's right.
and then again, the menu available online.
Online, yeah,
latest updated.
quinceBistro.com.
And to call you to order is the
Yeah,
the best
call
way.
the order. You can send us an email, but the best response is to call. We check the messages literally all the times, and even if I'm not in there, I call from my cell phone just to make sure that somebody doesn't get the schnitzel abstinence.
Okay. So again, we want to thank you. We really hope you guys reopen soon. That's
I hope for everyone's.
Yeah,
yes.
everybody has the opportunity to taste. As you know, part of our initiative here at #Miele Dines Local is we are going to buy 100 meals from you to hopefully provide some support in the meantime of you guys opening.
Absolutely.
But more importantly, we're actually collectively between Quince and Miele, we're going to take these meals and actually donate these. Where have we decided to make this donation in this case?
So we decided to say a big thank you for our friends and from the line workers in Collingwood. So it's the closest hospital to us, and it's serving the whole Simcoe County. And they're doing an amazing job. I had the opportunity, I had to go to the hospital and see this in a real life, and they are doing such an amazing job. I never felt more safe, to be honest. And they are putting their lives on the line for us. And the least we can do for them is cook them a meal.
Yeah, so together with Quince, we will donate 100 meals to that cause, which is great. Once again, thank you for coming down from Creemore today to cook with us.
Thank you very much for having me.
The food looks absolutely amazing. I know the crew behind the scenes here is...
They're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, they're dying to try it.
Absolutely, all for you guys.
As we all are. So again, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
To our viewers out there, we want to thank you once again for supporting us by actually joining us. Be sure to share Quince Bistro social media. You guys are on Instagram.
Yeah, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook,
Okay.
and a Twitter as
Okay.
well.
So
And,
be sure to share that information with your friends and family out there. Be sure to give them a try when you can.
it's a Quince Bistro Creemore.
Quince Bistro
That's the
Creemore.
Instagram.
Okay. And again, we want to thank all of you for once again joining us here on Miele Live today. Later on at 3 o'clock, we actually have another exciting session with our partners who've joined us this week at Zwilling Henkel. And we're going to talk about preservation and storage. And so hopefully you can join us for that session there. On your YouTube account, be sure to subscribe to our channel at Miele. Turn on your notification, get the latest information about latest videos. And very, very lastly, on behalf of Quince, Chef Otta, myself, the Miele Canada team here, we want to send a very, very big thank you to all of the frontline workers across Canada who are really providing the necessary services to all the communities out there. Right now in these very difficult times, we want to send a big thank you to all of you. We wish you a fantastic day, and we hope to see you again on Miele Live or at Quince Bistro to pick up some food to share with your family at home. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you very much.